Everyone, welcome back to 5 Day Crypto. My name is Chase. Today we're going to look at Bitcoin and a prediction from me, 5 Day Crypto, on where I think the next peak could possibly be. And we're going to do it in the most simplest of fashions. What you see in front of you now is the BLX, also known as Bitcoin. The BLX simply allows you to go back further in history. So if you look at just Bitcoin USD on a chart, it only goes back to, back to around 2015-ish area. If you pull up the BLX, you can get much more data. So you can get pretty much everything. And why the line? Well, you might be familiar with seeing something like the candles, right? That's what most people show. If you have a TradingView account, you can change this to linear. And what's the difference? Well, this shows just the closing. It doesn't show the wicks, right? The candles are for wicks, where the price action goes. Linear charts like this will only show the close, or whatever you're looking at. And what are we looking at? We're looking at monthly. We're on a monthly scale for month. If you hit W, that would be for weekly. And then hopefully you can piece together the rest. So looking at this scale, going back all of Bitcoin's history here, and you might wonder what these circles are. Well, ding ding, these are the peaks. Why are they color coded? Well, to me, it's green is not the end of the cycle. Red is the end of the cycle, right? And you could argue with that we're basically in one cycle, only up. We've basically only gone up if you look at it on a big enough magnifying glass, so to speak. So peak one back in June of 2011. How long was it until we saw new all-time highs? I'm glad you asked. Let's go look. So new all-time highs broke out based on this chart about 580 days later. So maybe a long time, maybe not so long time, depending on your perspective. So the next peak, right? We peaked out 2013. That was kind of the end of this double cycle, this multi-peak cycle, 2013, 2014. And then what happened after that? Well, we went into a prolonged cool-off period, and it wasn't until 1,250-ish days later before we put in another all-time high. How about this one? 2017 peak. Maybe some of you are familiar with that one. How long was it until we put in a new all-time high? Well, it was just last year. And that was over 1,000 days again. 1,066 to be more exact. Now, what do you notice between those two, right? Over 1,000 days between breaking another all-time high and this one. Well, that was 500 days. How long was it for this one? Way less even than that, right? So here's our peak, and then we're blind. It was really about 215 days until we broke it again. So that seems, if you were to just compare these peaks right here, you would have to say, based on just this, that this and this seem more similar than this and this, right? These two seem more similar together, and these two seem more similar together. The brothers in the green, the brothers in the red. I prefer the green. Where do you prefer? So if we think that, well, where do we think we're going next? Well, yeah, I think we're probably going to enter a new all-time high again, even though we've already done it. I think we're rhyming with this. Not history doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. So look at, zoom into this, right? We come down for not so long as these, right? These look a little bit different. We come down, we have some cool off, then we make a new all-time high. We have an attempt, then a little bit more consolidation, and then a breakthrough, right? Look at now. Come down, not so long of a cool off. We come back up. Maybe we're kind of flirting around with some consolidation. Similar, right? Rhyming, not mirroring. Similar to last, back in this area. And then we're getting ready to move again in some sort of fashion like this, right? So where do I think we could possibly peak? I'm glad you asked. Let's look. So in my book, the odds for me, and I haven't changed this, I've been making YouTube videos for about 11 months now, pretty consistently. And I've been saying this since I've been making videos. This is not new. I don't change my opinions. This is what I've been saying since way back, right? I started making videos about right here. And I predicted the peak to be somewhere in 2022. Now, where do I think now? We have a little bit more data. So could we narrow it down a little bit? Yeah, maybe. So let's go ahead and look and see where I think we could possibly peak. I think the odds are somewhere right in the smack dab middle of 2022. Now, does that narrow it down? Maybe not so much to your benefit. So let's go ahead and benefit that down. Benefit that down. It's not even a word, but we're gonna make this. You'll catch on in a minute. So I project the peak somewhere to be within that circle. So we will see if that comes to fruition or if I'm way the hell off base and y'all can unsubscribe. Just kidding, please don't. So what does this mean? Well, the center would be July. So that's about 7 months from now. Does that mean we're going to peak in there? Of course not. This is just my opinion. The peak of this circle, yes, I would say maybe around 250K would be probably the max for this cycle, in my opinion. Do I think Bitcoin will go a lot higher than that in the next decade? Of course. But for this cycle, I think maybe around 250K to maybe just over 120-ish. Okay, so and then so not only that for the price levels, but I think for the time levels as well. I think maybe the earliest we peak is right around in here, March, April, and then the latest we could possibly peak for the odds, maybe next fall. So yeah, I would say the odds in my book, based on all the data that I've in, is we either get more antsy and more bullish in a hurry, and we do something like this, and then we have our cool off period, going into our bear market for a year plus a little bit more time, or we take our time, which I would prefer, because the longer we take, I think the higher we can go. So maybe we just slow grind up here and then kind of do some kind of peak like this going into the later half of the year, or somewhere in there. And then the longer it takes, I think the more the odds improve of us hitting towards the top of this. If we do it sooner, then I think we peak out more towards the bottom area here, maybe 120 to 150, something like that. So if we're going to peak in the next handful of months, then maybe just over 100, 150K would be kind of a max level. If we can somehow last a little bit longer, or maybe we come up and then come back down and then go up and then come down. I don't know how we're going to get there, but this is just my forecast on what I think, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So what do you think? Do you think we're going to peak earlier? Do you think we're going to peak later? Or are you in the bears and you think we're going there? I mean, nothing's for certain in crypto. Nobody knows these answers, right? All you can have is, get a collection of data from various people that you like, know, and trust, and try to piece your own little puzzle together. Maybe you can come up with a better solution than all the rest of us. So that's all we have to go on, besides drawing pretty colors. And what do you think? Do you like my odds here, or do you think we're going to peak a little bit sooner, a little bit later out here? Not a whole lot of people are predicting out in here, but that's why I gave myself a little bit of a window here. But well, interesting to see over the next how the next 6-7 months plays out. Are we going to end up peaking in here perfectly and then coming out of it? We will see. For the 6 people watching this today, I mean, the 6 of us will know. The Crypto Fear and Greed Index today, if you watch my other videos, we're at 32. We're still in fear, so I mean, you might not like that, but I look at it as kind of a good thing, right? We basically got to go up at some point. We're not going to stay in fear forever. It just doesn't work like that. So what we want to look for is to take out this 40 level, because we want to start building this up again. We've been making lower highs. We need to start taking out that and making a higher high. And all we have to do is put up 41. So we'll see if we do that tomorrow. Unless prices rise over the next 5 hours or so, when we close today, that's probably unlikely. Maybe we'll probably close somewhere around, if we close the prices here, we'll probably still close in the mid 30s or something like that. We'll see where this closes, but until we take out 40, not much excitement in the markets. Quote of the day: conflict cannot survive without your participation. What your head says goes. Car of the 90s, my opinion. Car of the day, car of the 90s. The XJ220 Jaguar. One of the first best supercars, in my opinion. A little bit ahead of its time. cult classic collector's car now. Anybody that's got 20 supercars probably has this in their collection. Was just awesome for its day, and although it's a little dated with the taillights now, still looking pretty sharp. That's it. Hopefully you liked it. I'll see you right back here on the next video. Give us a thumbs up. Follow us on Telegram. There's a free Telegram below. If you need some more help, there's a free one right below. We're like flying over the past handful of days. We're over 500 now. Trying to get to 1,000 there for free by the end of the year. So it's free. I post some things in there time to time. If you're still watching this, the both of you, you're probably already in there if you're watching this long. Let's be honest. If you want some more help, ins and outs, where I'm going to be exiting, trading strategies, more videos. I do a lot more videos. That's in Patreon. You get access to a private Telegram where I post many videos every day. So you want the most help, that's where it's at. No long-term commitment. Just pay once. If you don't like it, you can leave. No harm, no foul. Go back and join the public one and compare. But could be worth your time and effort just to try it out. You might learn something you can never find anywhere else, and it might change your financial future forever, just for a little bit of commitment on your part. So I'll leave you with that. That's Bitcoin in a nutshell. What do you think? Let's go back to it. Is it going to play out? Is it not going to play out? But pretty nice chart to look at sometimes with or without yellow lines, and just get a simplistic picture of the best performing asset the past decade.